All right, everyone. Welcome to the Harsha training for Appian demo. My name is Savi, and today we will be going through we'll talk about the Appian, what Appian is, what kind of coding it requires, what kind of application we built in Appian, and then we'll see that how the Appian development tools look like and how it works. Okay, so let's get started. Yeah. All right. So let me first introduce myself. As I said, my name is Ravi, and I have 10 plus years of experience in Appian development, and I'll be taking classes for the Appian developments, basic development skills. So how about you, Ted? Can you please tell me about your experience and why
Yeah,
Appian?
yeah. My name is Theodore. They call me Ted. So I'm just interested in Appian. I have a friend who was working as an Appian developer, and he told
Mhm.
me a lot about Appian. Originally I'm a Scrum Master, and just looking forward for this Appian class that can upgrade my profile.
So what's your profession as of now? I mean, right now you are working in some other
Scrum,
tool or
a Scrum Master.
Scrum Master. Okay, thank you, Ted.
Yeah.
And Venkat? Hi, Venkat, can you hear me? Okay, I'll come to him later. Shami, would you like to tell him about yourself?
Yeah, hi Ravi, this is Sami. Currently, I'm working in US insurance industry as a process
Okay,
associate. So in my company, there are some openings for Appian local platform. I've learned something about my colleagues. They are working on automation, so they told me that
okay,
this is a good platform to start an IT career with a local platform. So I'm pretty much interested
okay,
in this.
great. Thanks, Shami. And Mel, hi.
Yeah, hi Ravi. This is Mel. So I'm having a total 20 years experience, 10 years in medical transcription and other 10 years in medical coding and building. So I'm totally into healthcare process.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard that Appian will be used to build up healthcare applications. So
Right.
the demand is there for Appian. I heard that, and I'm pretty much interested in learning this.
Okay, okay. Yeah, great. So as you said that healthcare domain, if you talk about the clients, J&J, if you talk about Merck, if you talk about many other, pharmaceutical companies, right? The healthcare domain, they are using Appian for their in-house projects. Right. Good. Thank you all. Right. So we see that we have a mix of people, like someone is from the IT background, some is from some other backgrounds, right? So it's kind of I'll consider that as we will going through as a from the basic, very basic. And let me talk about you this Appian training. So we will be teaching you the basic Appian development course. I'll be sharing with you the details. What are the things we are going to cover? So Appian is pretty much vast things. It also has the RPA. It also has the automations and all, right. So this training is not part of this RPA and automation. Here we will be learning the core Appian development skills so that we can start creating an application, right? RPA, AI skills, these are all the separate topics which takes another you can say training to cover it all. So this training you will be learning the whole basic development skills for Appian. Okay. Hi, Ramya. I was just talking about to get to know each other. Like what's your experience and from which background you are coming here, and why Appian. So would you like to add something from your end?
Yes, sir.
Is that for me?
Yeah.
Is that for
I
Ted?
came from
No, it's for Ramya. Ted.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ramya.
So I came from like non-IT background, sir. Currently I'm
Mm-hmm.
working system admin, sir. So I
Okay.
want to switch domain from Appian developer. So overall work on an years experience.
All right. Okay.
So any chances is there about in career wise? So I want to know about this course
Okay.
and all
Right.
this.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, let me tell you one more thing, right? If you are not from the IT background, no need to be worried because Appian is not that tough. It is built on Java. It's a tool basically, right? So which is built in Java, but it's not required that you should have the knowledge of your Java, all the OOPS concept and everything. It doesn't require. It's basically a tool where you can simply drag and drop the things, and then you need to do the configuration. Right? As you said, right? This is a low code tool, right? It's meaning that you have to do some coding, but coding standard will not be that high, right? It will be very simple coding, and mostly it's the configurations. Everything will be there. You just have to configure the right things. Okay, yeah. So Ted, you were saying something?
Oh no, I thought you were talking to me. I'm sorry.
No, no, no problem. All right. Okay, so let me share my screen quickly. So, okay, how many of you know about the Appian? What Appian is basically? Any idea?
It's an orchestration tool, right? For the
Mm-hmm.
applications.
Okay, right. Anything else? Anyone?
It's a BPM tool, business
BPM.
process,
This is what I was looking for. So, what is a BPM?
business process management. That's what I've heard.
Yeah,
Other
it's
than
a
that,
full form, business process management, right? That's correct. But what is the meaning of business process management?
I don't know.
Right. So, business process management, it has three words, right? Business process and management. So, what is the meaning of business here? What we're talking about the business, right?
Customer
As a
support related to
um,
maintenance, business, internal business, shops.
okay. Mm-hmm. So that's a literal meaning, right? But if we talk about the business process management, like business in terms of IT, right? So you get requirements. The customers will give you the requirement. Let's say they are asking you to design one interface where they can capture the customer details, right? So that's a requirement, right? They can ask you design interface for me where I can see all those details, right? So that's a requirement, right? So in item we call it a business. If business users ask you to do something, to develop something for themselves so that they can easy their work, right? So that comes as a requirement to us, and we design those things and we deliver to them. So that's a business. They ask for some requirement and we develop and deliver to them. So that's a business, right? Let's say for example, I ask you, can you please make me a tea, right? So that's a business. I'm asking you for a tea. Now it comes a process. So what do you think? What's the process should be?
Turn the stove on, get the water up, and have the bowl, and put everything
Right.
ingredients
So
together, boil it, and put in a cup and give it to
right,
them.
right. So how you are gonna do this, right? You're gonna some coding, you're gonna use some tools, you will do some process modeling in terms of app development, right? So you design a process to fulfill the work. As I said, the real-time example that I would like to have a tea. So how you prepare, right? You may switch on the gas stove. So there is a procedure you will follow, right? There's a set of steps that you follow. It doesn't require that what steps you can take, someone else also can take the same steps, right? But between most of the steps there could be one optimized steps, right? It depends on your requirement, how you want. Do you want a black tea or do you want a tea with a milk, right? So that depends on the requirement also. So there are different set of steps that you can follow to fulfill the requirement, to design that particular requirement, right? So maybe you can first switch on your stoves and then you put some vessels on it, then you put some water, and then you put some liquor on that, right? So that's a step that we follow. So that comes under the process. And then what about the management? Just hunch, give me anything, that's fine, right? No one's gonna charge you for a wrong answer, right? So just see what you know. What do you think? What a management can comes in here in this terminology?
So you got to
Okay.
manage all these processes, right? How you taking the requirements and you do this and deliver it and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
one needs to manage all this. If either
Right.
you do it or let the someone do it, but you make
Mm-hmm.
sure this is happening.
Okay. So that comes under the management, like as a manager who is looking for a task, or the lead who's just giving you the requirement assigned with the juniors and then they are working on it, right? Here, the management comes like, if you want to prepare the tea, right, you will take liquor from some box, you will take sugar from some other box, right? It's think about a data are being kept in some other places, so you'll bring the data. If you need to capture the customer details, you will capture and then you will save it to some database. So you are managing the data also, right? From where you are taking the data and to where you are putting it, right? So it can be available to the required audience. So you are managing the data and all. So that comes into the management, right? So do you understand now what's the business process management?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, what is an Appian in that? So Appian is a tool of
Right.
business process management. I can say Appian is one of the tool of the business process management. If you might have heard about the Pega, Pega is another tool of the business process management, right? Okay. So as I said, this Appian tool is built on Java, right? If you want to add some new plugins, maybe what happens, that Appian team has created lots of plugins so that we can use and we can work on the Appian tool, right? So if you want to create any more new plugins, right, based on your requirement, let's say you want something, such a requirement that you want to fulfill, but you don't have plugin available for that. So in that case, you need to design a plugin maybe in the Java code or Python code and then create a jar file and then upload it to the Appian. So that's a different story. Forget about it. But we have most of the plugins already available. So how Appian works? Basically, you will do drag and drop. I'll show you how the Appian codes looks like, how the Appian windows look like. So basically, you do the drag and drop, right? Let's say if you want to design an interface in which you want to design one text field, you don't have to write entire code for a text field. You just have to drag and drop a text field component to your interface, and text field will be designed already. What you need to do, you need to do the configuration, like assigning the variables, which variables it has to capture the values, right? So those things you have to do, and that also doesn't require coding here. You just have to know mapping, how to do, right? Okay. So what kind of coding we are talking about here? Okay. Let me give you an example of the coding. You see this, if you might have heard read in the colleges, right? So like, for example, if you talk about the if condition, if value is equal to 5, then display yes, otherwise no. So similar kind of coding standard we will have it in Appian. Sometimes you have if you want to put some conditions that the customer name that user has added, it should not be greater than 25 characters. So let's say you are capturing that customer name into the value x. You can say that if value x is equal to greater than length of value x is greater than 25, then display some message. So likewise, condition wise, you can also have the coding. There are more, but we'll learn, slowly how we design the code, right? Just like the Java, we have functions. In Appian also, we have lots of functions. The beautiful thing about Appian is that you do not have to learn by heart. You just need to know what function is required, and you will get all the descriptions in the below window of your coding window, that how it works with the example. Okay. All right. Now, before going to all those things, right, what kind of uh, you know tool application Appian build? What kind of application we built in Appian? Anyone, any example? So as I mentioned, right, it is created to use a web-based application, right? Now, Appian is costly, right? And if you want to have users, there is a limitation. You cannot have like unlimited users for yourself. It comes with the registration and licenses based on the number of users you create in your under your environment. So let's say any company is buying this Appian license, and they are allowed, let's say, 2,000 of number of credentials, right? If they increase the number of users in their environment, then they have to pay more, right? So what kind of application we built in Appian basically? Anyone, any idea?
Any application that has a lot of processes, I guess.
Right, but for whom? I mean, who is the end user in your thinking process? Like, who will be the end users who will be using this application?
I think it's for in-house employees.
Right. So let's say if you talk about the Make My Trip, right, or Agoda, right? So those are the applications that if you build, right, the end user is going to be the normal people, the common people, which we can't have, which can't afford, right? There could be millions of users, isn't it? So if we try to build such applications, we have to build, create so many number of credentials, right? So we can't create those applications in Appian. Then what kind of applications we built here, and who is the end users? Now let's talk about a company. Let's talk about a bank, right? Let's say First Republic Bank is in US, right? They want to create certain application for their in-house employees, right? Who is the bankers in the company, right? In that bank. So they are the person who uses these applications. So such kind of applications we built in Appian, right? So it is used to create an application for the in-house employees, not for the general public, right? Because those users will be limited. Now let's say, for example, if you want to open an account right now, these days it's very easy. You do it online also. Now let's say, think about a process, right, where you want to open an account. What you do, you visited the bank, right? When you visited the bank, they take all your information and they upload into the system. So in behind, they are using certain application to fulfill your requirement and create an account for you, right? So that system that they are using, those kind of applications we built in Appian. Is that clear?
Mhm. So only internal applications, right? Like associate facing.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
Appian is suitable for that because it's not a freely available tool, right? It's a license-based tool. You have to pay licenses for number of credentials, right?
So do we have any limitation, like only like 1 lakh users can use it? Does something like that? Do we have any limitation?
So Appian gives, right? Yeah, I mean, I think I'm not sure about the count, but there's a limitation. When you buy one environment, right? They gave you like you can have thousands of employees. I mean, credentials created for this environment. Can't more than that. But there's a limitation. Okay. So we talk about them. Then we say that Appian is a low-code tool. There are different kinds of tools are available in the market. One is called low-code, another is called no-code. So what's the difference between low-code and no-code? As the wording says, right? Low-code, you will have to use minimal coding for sure. No-code, you don't have to use any coding. Then why people are using Appian? Why not the other tools, which is using no-code? The answer is the
Yeah.
customizations.
Yes. So
Right?
Pega is a no code tool, right?
No, Pega is also a low-code.
Okay. What's the
I
difference
think there is a
between
tool called,
Pega and Appian?
right. Both are very much similar, right? It's about like how the Pega comes with, like you have to buy different licensings for if you want to use AI features, if you want to use the RPA features, you have to buy the different licensings. In Appian, it comes all together. And the UI experience is better as compared to Pega. Pega is also enhancing now, but earlier it wasn't. So Appian is having a good user interface experience. So, and it is also very faster. So that's why it's most popular. So we have seen that many companies are now transforming their application from Pega to Appian. So what make it different from low code and no code? Right? The customization. In case you want to design an UI based on your own requirement, based on your own choice, you cannot do it in the no code. No code is a predefined thing. Whatever is been predefined, however it is looks like, you cannot modify it, right? Because there's no coding, so you have to use as it is. But in low code, you can customize the things. If you want to say that, no, okay, my interface should be on the right hand side, this particular field should be on the right hand side, or this button should be on my left hand side, you can do that in the low code, right? Such kind of customizations are allowed in the low code, right? So as I said, for example, text field. See, this is a function for a text field. Once you write this function, a text field will be ready for you. And even you don't have to write it. If you, in Appian, we have two kinds of development window: design and expression. Expressions, where you can go and write the code and you can see the things are happening for you on your right hand side window. In design mode, you simply drag and drop the things and it will work. And also, whatever you have designed, you can also go to the expression and switch to the expression mode, and you can see the code is being created for you. Right? Let's say if you want to have any drop down fields, you simply use the drop down fields. So most of the functions in Appian, has the name based on their meaning. Let's say if you want to use the length of any array, there's a function called length. If you want to append something, right, to a text, there's an append function for it. So you name the function, and English literal meaning of that function is available to you of the same name. Okay, right? As I said, right, configurations. No code you cannot do the configurations, but in low code you can do the configurations. Okay, right. As you talk about the example of Appian coding, how it works, like 4 is equal to 5. If it's true, then display yes, other no. So this if condition, as like you might have studied in the colleges, it has 3 parameters. The first is the condition, second is the true part, and third is the false part. If this is true, then do this, otherwise do that, right? All right, so we talk about this things. Okay, so we have most of the people ask what kind of language we used in Appian. What is the language is called in Appian, right? So that's called SAIL, 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 self-assembled interface language. So this is the coding language that we use to design something in Appian. Okay. Okay, as we talk about what kind of applications we create in Appian and who will be the users, right? To use Appian, we need a credentials for sure. If you don't have credentials, you cannot use Appian fully. Now they have come up with a new concept called portals, but the portals will not be 100% available for you, because portals will not require any credentials. It's just like a reference of your Appian, where you can go and sometimes you log into your company site. I mean, not a login, you refer to a company site. You can see certain details, but you cannot take an action on anything, right? If you want to know about a companies, so for those things you don't need credentials. You need credentials when you do some certain actions. So that is also available in Appian. Through portals, you can access something about the company's knowledge, and if you want to query something, you can do. If you want to post a question, you can do that. You don't need a credential. That is for the end users, as a general public. But if you want to create anything, then you need a credential, right? It's not a free tool, it's a costly, right? Appian creates applications for in-house users. So as I said, what are the in-house users? Like bank employees, right? The pharmaceutical companies employees, those are the bank in-house users. Okay. All right. So is that clear what Appian is and what kind of tool it is? Do you have anything in your mind? Any question? Any doubt?
Yes. If you want to practice at the time of learning, so how can you practice Appian?
Right. Good question. So, Appian also allows you to use its freely available tool. You have to register for that, right? There's a limitation now because a lot of requests has been made to that one. So if you can get it, if you log in with your company's email address, there is chances that you can get it easily. If you try with your personal email address, earlier they used to give, but now it's taking a lot of time. They will say that you need to wait because your request is in the queue. Meanwhile,
Okay.
what I can do, I will
If,
share my credentials. Sorry,
okay. If you want to log in at night time, like
anytime,
when,
anytime doesn't matter. It's a freely available tool, right? It's a web-based tool. You can log in your browser.
okay, I thought that daytime users will be more, so our
No, no, no,
request
not
will
about the
be in
users
queue.
who's working right now. The number of requests to access that environment is a lot because
Okay.
many people are now trying to get that access, right? So if they have to create an instance for you, it takes some memory, right? They can't simply give it to everyone,
Okay.
right? So that's why I'm saying. So in case you guys are not able to get that, I will be sharing my credentials, my working credentials with you guys so that you can practice. Okay.
Okay.
Obviously, you should
So
not be sharing the credentials with someone else, and then you should not be creating any other users in that one. You can't do that. Whatever the credentials I give it to you, just practice. You can create your application and you can practice there. Okay.
yeah, I'm having one more question. Do we need to certify, get certification for this Appian? If so, what will be the cost for certification?
Okay. So certification, as I said, it's not required, but it's now companies are asking for it, right? And certification is always a good to have. If someone is going with the same experience without certification, and if you are going with like 6 months less experience with certifications, definitely they will give you the privileges, right? So certification is always a good thing to have it. So it's by this training you will be able to certify yourself L1 at least, level 1. Okay, there are 3 levels
Oh,
of certifications: level 1, level 2, and level 3. We call it as a associate developer, and then lead developer. Okay, so by this training you should be able to clear your level 1 associate developers. Now if you
yeah,
talk
what
about
will
the
be the
cost,
cost? Yeah.
yeah, I'm coming on that. So if you talk about the cost, so cost is a $200 for each certification, right?
Okay.
If your
Okay.
company you are working with right now, and if they are the partners of the Appian, in that case, you will get 50% of discount, maybe $100. But your company should be the partner of Appian. Let's say, for example, if I talk Accenture, Capgemini, these are the partners of Appian, so they have to pay only $100, right? That you
Okay.
need to check if your company is partner with Appian or not.
Okay.
Okay, right.
Uh,
Any more questions?
so I have one question.
Yeah,
In
go ahead.
outside so many source tools is the Salesforce and web side only, but why you want
Hmm.
to choose this app and what is the reason? Now why companies are choosing this one? Any demand above the AI technologies or what? So, automation side or
See, Appian as compared to the Salesforce and the Pega and all right, this is very fast faster, and the UI experience is very rich. In terms of user experience, you can design a very good UI in Appian, which can give you a look and feel wise that you are working on a Java application, something like that. You can create a sites. Initially, Appian was having only the basic page tempo where you can go and work on your Appian, but now when they come up with the sites, it look and feel wise, it will give it to you like that you are working on a actual web-based applications like Java and all. Right? So, and then Appian license comes with a package where you can get your automations, RPA, intelligent document processing, everything in package, right? So that's why Appian is popular and it's very faster as compared to any other tool. So that's why Appian is very much in demand as compared to others. And also it has something for the business users. Like let's say if they want to create something for them themselves, they can do it quickly. They can also create certain applications without having any coding knowledge. They can do it. Let's say if they want to create a report out of an Excel, they can just upload an Excel. I mean, there's a process of doing that. They need to learn, and the business users can directly do that. So that's why Appian becomes very famous in the business users.
Does it have any learning curve, steep learning curve? Like, if you go through these 40 days courses and you can work at least 2 3 years experience guy equal to him like that.
Right. So here also the training that we are going to provide, it will be around 40 to 45 days of training. So based on this training, you will be able to showcase that you have at least 2 years of experience in Appian development. Okay. So how it works, let's say you have 10 years of experience, so you can say that, what, 8 years I have experience what you are working on right now, and you can say that in last 2 years I was working with Appian development. So likewise you can say I have total 10 years of experience, 8 years I had work on this one. I'm still working, in touch with those things, and then I'm also working as an Appian developer. So last 2 years I was working as an Appian developer. Appian also provides you certain trainings, video trainings, right? When you register, you can have some learning videos there also.
What about that salary features wise, sir? Salary wise or future any demand? Nowadays, AI can recession is going on and jobs is very less. How
Right.
to, yes, sir.
Okay. So see, as you talk about the job, Appian jobs are in demand, and right now also I see there are a lot of requirement for Appian developers in the market. So a few days back, like I was getting a call for every day at least, for getting a job. So now they have also started work for 2 years of experience. What happens when the year ends, your end of the year ends, right? They try to hire with some less expense also. In the March, April, they will look for a higher experience, right? And but Appian jobs are there for over the year. When Appian is very much in demand, during the COVID, there were companies, they were not working, they were not hiring, but Appian was in such in demand that I personally switched in during the COVID, and then started working from home by that time. So it's in very much demand because Appian captures the healthcare domain, and during the COVID they created a lot of projects for healthcare domains, because that time company was required to create an applications which should be very faster, and Appian comes up and they created the applications quickly for them, right? So that's why Appian is now leading the market for the healthcare domain areas. So requirement is there, yes. If you talk about the salaries, they pay you a good amount, as compared to any other programming languages. Because in the program, if you talk about Java, there are a lot of candidates, but Appian we have very limited developers, right? So they pay you good. If you clear the amount, they pay you good amount. I have seen people are getting 100% of hike as well, right? Okay. Any more questions, guys?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
No, sir, actually, I have 1.9 years. So if I complete this course, if I switch from the 2 years experience guy, and
Mhm.
currently I'm in a system admin. So if I change this domain or like same experience or a fresher on this to switch.
No, you can say, right? You have 2 years of experience, isn't it? So you can mention that you have 2 years of experience in Appian development. You are working as a fresher, then they can say, why are you switching? You can mention like, I'm not getting such opportunities. I'm not getting some, much development work, right? Seniors are taking all those responsibilities, so I'm just trying to, enhance myself. So that's the reason I want to switch. Okay, such kind of things you can mention. You can go with the
So
2 years of experience.
Yeah, so as you said that you will be covering only development part, right? That
Right.
RPA and AI, you are not going to. Do we need to attend another training session for that?
See, for a basic development, you don't need. There are very few companies who require RPA and AI. Very
What
few.
is RPA? What is RPA?
It's a robotic process automation.
Okay.
If you want
Yeah,
to add,
before that, RPA means only blue prism, UI path.
right, automation
Uh,
anywhere,
uh, uh, yeah,
right?
only these things. But how come Appian comes into RPA?
So Appian has its own RPA tool, which they have recently launched, maybe year back or 2 years back. So which is not 100%, you can say, up to the mark as compared to the Blue Prism and the automation anywhere. So the companies are still using those kind of tools. That's why I said, right, RPA. If you don't know RPA in Appian, you don't have to worry, because companies are not looking for that. Many companies
Okay.
are not looking for that. There are very few because they have started just now, right? So they are investing in, they are learning the people, teaching the people, right? So right now, if you know basic development in Appian, that is more than enough for you to understand the things.
Yeah, I'm having one more question. How AI is related to Appian? One more question. Sorry.
So it's a AI skills. Let's say, if you want to read an email body, if you want to, if your email has some attachments available in that body, right? So Appian AI skills will read those um, email body for you and fetch out the attachment for you and provide to you as a variable in your Appian development. So that's one kind of AI skills. If you have any PDF, if you want to take out the text out of it, so for that we have AI skills.
So companies are now using AI with Appian.
They are certain few companies are started working on that one, right? But see, those things that the company can teach you. I mean, you once you will be in onboarded, right? If they require, you can try to learn those things. They or company may provide training for you. But what they really want is that you should know the Appian development. If you don't know how Appian development works, you can't use the AI skills or RP or any other things, right? So the first thing they want to be sure that you know Appian development, right?
Okay, got it. Thank you.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, actually, you said we'll be completing this course in around 40 to 45 days. I hope there will be 1 hour class daily. So apart from this 1 hour class, like how much time we need to invest daily for practice? I'm currently working in US shifts, so barely I'll be having 1 hour time daily, maximum 1.5 hour. So will it be enough
Okay.
or like how?
So it's like the amount of sugar you will put in a glass of water, right? The amount of sweetness you will get it. So that depends. I will be sharing my credentials with you. That will be with you for 24/7. That depends on how much time you can put it yourself to learn the things, right? But if you talk about sufficiency, like whatever we discuss in the training, right? In that 1 hour training, at least you should be practicing that. The minimum is that you should be practicing that. You should be creating everything. So that will be helpful to understand the appends, right?
We're gonna build any mock applications, like 2, 3 applications at least.
Oh, I'm sorry, Venkat, what is that?
Do we build any applications though?
Right. So in our training, from the beginning of the training to the end, right, we will be having one working application with us. Let's say, for example, if we talk about any use case, let's say we talk about leave applications. So we will be having a working leave applications tool with us at the end of the training. Likewise, we can work with any other use cases.
Sir, I have
And
one
what I
question.
was expecting that you guys can also do the same thing, so that if you can go with the same use case, or you can try with some other use case for the learning purpose. Yeah, go ahead, Ramya.
Actually, so in Appian having different profiles is there like admin, tester, the BA profiles is there or same only developer
Yeah,
profile?
definitely it has, right? I mean, see it has the Scrum Masters, it has the BA, it has the admins, right? So we will also touch some part of the admins, because if you want to use the APIs, right? If you want to use the integrations, right? So we need to generate some API keys. So we'll see how the admins create those API keys for us. So we'll also check that how the app and admin console works.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so let me quickly share my screen. 1 second. I hope you guys can see my screen, right? You guys see my screen?
Yes, Ravi.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, like Appian thing, whatever most of the things we already talk about. I just go through the slides and let you know. So yes, automations faster. We guaranteed Appian low code automation platform, right? So it's very faster that Appian builds. So it's a BPM tool, and then it's what we'll talk about what the market position as of now. What's a low code? Where Appian fits, data and processes, all those things we can see. Architecture showcase how Appian works in the backend. We see all those things, right? So this is what we talk about, right? Let's say we talk about the real-time example of preparing the tea. You can also talk about like let's say some customers are trying to do online shopping and then they you know uh, order something like companies can send some offer to the customers. They can either decline or they can accept the offer. If they can accept the offer, then uh, they have to do the payment. Once they do the payment, the company will receive. So this is a set of job and then set of steps that they follow. Once this is done, then this should be done. So it's like uh, you know uh, based on the decision that you are making. So like let's say these are the decision making. If you accept, then it will go to this path. If you decline, it will go to this path and end the process, right? And then here, if you receive the payment, then you will send the invoice. If you don't receive the payment, you do something else, right? You send a reminder or you can do any other thing. So that is how a business process model works. This is a notation. We call this in Appian as a process modeling. So we will designing the process model with the same things like, based on the decision that user will take on the UI, will take the decision. If they click on submit, then what should happen? If they click on cancel, then what should happen? We'll design all those things in the process model. All right. So as we talk about what's an Appian is, so it's a BPM tool, which right now it's leading the market in the BPM, right? It uses the process modeling for the data flow. It's a low code. Yeah, and I mean all the things that we already talk about. So these are the interface enhancement. Experience with this is the UI you can see, right? These are built in Appian. So you see that you do not have to do much coding to display your UI differently in the different tools. Let's say if you are using desktop or you are using a laptop or using a iPad or mobile devices, it doesn't require much coding so that it can be fitted in different screens. It can fit automatically in the different screens based on the design that you have. So that's why it's having very rich UI experience. Companies, if you talk about the companies, Equivia, Bayer, Sanofi, all these companies, they have given their feedback. Like talk about Equivia, they said that 12 months of clinical trial startup time reduced by 1.5 months. So you can see that it's all their feedback on this Appian development. They're saying that whatever they were taking an year, they completed in like 1.5 months. Reduce the reporting time from hours to 3 minutes. Right, Appian is very good of creating the on real-time data report. Right, you can prepare a chart very easily for you. It can prepare the any of the charts, like it has bar chart, line chart, pie chart, right, column chart. All those charts can be prepared in Appian very quickly. So that's why it's reduced your time from, you see that, from hours to minutes. So like by Sanofi and all other companies are also having, you know, feedback on this Appian. Market positioning, the only triple crown leader, like, it is process automation, low code, and case management. If you talk about the case management tool, you'll go for the Salesforce. If you talk about the business process management, you will go for the Pega. But in Appian, you have all the things in one place, right? So that's why this also makes Appian in demand. This is very old report, 2020 report during the COVID, but Appian was leading the market by that time as part of terms of getting the jobs and then salary hikes and demand in the market for Appian development, where it was high. Where Appian fits, it's not like Appian is, if you are working on an Appian tool, then you need to use only Appian. Let's say you have certain UI or any form has been already created in by using Java, JavaX, right, which very rich enhancement interface, and you submit some data to a claim process. Let's talk about a claim process, right? If you want to submit your data in your interface, which is in some other language, and then you submit it. If you want a Appian to be used as a backend process where you process the data in the backend, you can use the Appian there also. You can send the data to the Appian, start a process in the backend, and then do all those things that you need. So many companies also do like that. They use Appian as a backend process just to fulfill the process of the data flow, right? It can also be integrated.
There is no UI. There is no UI then.
No, we have this UI that we see, right?
No, but you said backend processes, right? And,
right. Yeah. If you want to use Appian in such a way, let's say if you want to use Appian only for backend process, you can use a process model feature of this Appian where you can process your data, because that may take a longer time in your Java code. So they use Appian as a backend process to process the data, right? It takes automatic based on the decision making, and we can take it. So that's why many companies, if they have already some applications built in, let's say Java or Python or any other language, they also use Appian as a backend process. Very few, but it can be used there also. That's what example I want to give. You can have everything in Appian itself, right? You can use Appian as a middleware process also. Appian itself is a full can do your 100% job.
So you mean to say you can use it as a both like front end and a back end, or
yes,
only for the back end? Okay.
Right. Right. As I said, it has process automations, artificial AI intelligence. Everything is there in the Appian, which makes it very much in demand. You can also, right, it's not like the data point can be only one place. You can bring your data from many other places and combine it in the Appian, and then work on the data, process the data, and then you can also take it back to the from the destination where you have brought it. So Appian has one feature called records. Appian record is very faster, and it allows you to do the things very much quickly as compared to any other codings. If you design an Appian record is basically when you have to connect with some data source from where you want to bring the data. You can create multiple records, and you can also combine those records in one record, just like the view in the database you have, right? If you want to bring if you want to create a view out of 2 or 3 tables, right, and you want to see the data combination of all the 3 tables at one place, we create a view. Same wise in Appian also, we can create multiple records for each table, and then we can combine it to have a single view of the data. And also it allows you to take an action on that data. You can update the data, you can delete the data, and you can also add a new data. So that's Appian record is for you, where you can do all those things very quickly. This is one of the UI interface where you can, which is built in Appian. You can have many things there. You can have the data display in the grid. You can have the charts. You can have milestones. You can display the KPIs, right? User image details. Everything is in detail. You can provide the information to the users. This is the example of charts that you can see here. These are the KPIs. Right. You can also combine the things in Appian. Like say, if you are working a process model, you are designing a process model, right? You can also have a normal process model where user interaction is required. You can also include the bots in it. You can also include the AI in it. Let's say if you want to design a process where you need to read an email, you can include the AI skills there, and you can bring out the data out of it. So you can mix the things, and you can design your 100% automated process model also. These are the image that you're seeing in the right hand side, right? This is a process model where all the drag and drop features are available. You just have to drag and drop the things. Let's say, for example, if you want to send an email to a customer, you can drag a send email smart service, and you just have to do the configuration to whom it has to be send the email, what should do the email body, what's the subject line. You need to do the configuration. You don't have to do the coding for how the email will go out from your system to the customer's email box. That everything will be done by the app itself. You just have to do the configuration. Okay. Right. As you can see, one of the feedback from the first is that low code up to 20 times faster than the custom code that we use in Java and all, right? The custom code, it's 20 times faster than that. What are the contents we have, components we have? We have interface, we have process models, data records, interface, AI tools, rules, integrations, all these objects that we have to design our Appian. We'll talk about in details as well. Okay, we are talking about the companies, right? This is very few, but all these companies are using Appian. You talk about Merck, Pfizer, Johnson Johnson, Janssen, all these companies are using Appian. And many of these companies were added in during the COVID. Right, I'll give you the quick product demo. Before that, let me show you the Appian architecture, how this Appian architecture looks like. Like any other programming language, Appian also has a 3-tier. First is the interface layer, second is the services, and third is the database, right? So interfaces, we have sites, and we talk about Tempo also, right? Where initially we were using Tempo, but now we have sites. Embedded designers is for the developers, and then admin console for the admin users.
What is Tempo?
Tempo is again, it's a Appian in-house suite where you can go and take your actions and you can complete your task. I'll show you that how Appian looks like. There I can explain what the Tempo is. And then we have services, that using web services, web servers, app servers, plugins, APIs, everything inside this comes into the service layer where we can put all those things, right? And if you talk about the data management tab, so data is like what? So Appian also gives you in-house database. That's a MariaDB. It's very much similar to the MySQL, but you also have a MariaDB, that in-house database. In case you want to use your existing database, that is also possible. You can do that. If you don't have any existing database, and if you want to use in-house database, which is also possible. So Appian comes with the database package as well. File system where you can
what is that? Yeah, what is the database? Mario database?
MariaDB. Yeah, Maria database.
MariaDB.
It's very much similar to the MySQL.
Okay. So at the time of practice, by default, MariaDB will be there?
Right, it will be there.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Right, so this is Appian architecture. So let me quickly showcase you the Appian tool, how it looks like and how it works. Give me a second. Okay, I hope you guys can see my screen. So this is, you guys can see my screen, right? Hello?
Yes, Ravi.
Okay, thank you. So this is the base URL of my environment, right? Then we have shoot, and then we have Tempo. So this is a Tempo page. So this was initially when Appian was built, right? So if you want to take any new action, you can take the action from here. If you want to, let's say, for example, in the last training, what we have done is that we did, I think, these all are the application. So see here, right? So we created something like new initiate the onboarding process. Let's say if you wanted to onboard any customer. So first of all, what we try to search for a customer. If the customer is already available, right, then we can search for a customer, and then we hit next, and then we see the accounts. If these customers already have some already existing accounts, if you want to create a new account, we can have this option here, and what kind of account type they want to create. We go next, and we can display the final page, and then we can hit submit. So this is one of the basic example that we created in the last training, where we can go and take an action on it. So this is what the action tab we have in the tempo. So tempo is basically having 5 tabs. First is the news. News, we can, if you are going to publish any news about your application and everything, that you can put it here. Second is the task. For example, if you see, right, I just created one request, and that request was that I want to open a new account for a customer, existing customer, right? So what happens whenever they submit a request, right, a task will be generated for the management who needs to approve or reject that. So you see that a moment ago, a task has been generated for this, and I'm the part of that group. So I received this task. So I see that task. When I accept it, I see that, okay, these are the details for this particular customer. These are the existing accounts that he has, and then these are the new account details. Request is being, asked for it. So either I can approve or reject, or put on hold and put on comment. I'll say approve, and I hit on submit. Then this particular request will get approved. So my task will be gone. So that's how it was working initially. There was no sites, so they were using this tempo page to take an action and work on complete the task. If you are a part of 2 or 3 applications, all the actions will be associated here. Let's say, for example, I am a system admin user, so I am part of all the application. So all the applications are listed me here. All the actions are listed for me here. Now let's say if I am part of all, then all the tasks will also come here. However, a site is specific to an application. When you log into a site, you can only work on a particular application. Now let's say, for example, you see this one, right, the one that I took action right now. If you want to go to the site, you can go to this navigation icon here and then open the site that we have. The site was, I think, customer onboarding process. So if you click on this, then it will have that site. So this is the site that we created for the same application, right? So if you see here, initiate onboarding, if you click on it, it has the same thing. So you can take an action on it here. So here it will only give you the look and feel wise that you are working on a web tool, web-based application, and then it is only for this particular application, no any other task, no any other actions, right? However, in tempo page, you will be part of multiple applications, then you will be having multiple actions listed here, right?
So
third tab is the
tempo is like admin page or something?
No, it's not an admin. It is only for the basic users, but it doesn't give you the separate access for application wise. If you have multiple application access, everything will be listed here. Everything will be listed in the task. You cannot segregate. Now this is the task from some other process application. Likewise, this is a task for some other application, right? All the tasks will be here. See, this is a part of some other application. So that's why it was very confusing for the business users. Now that's the reason they come up with the sites. And then we have records. As I said, the customer records. Let's say if I want to show you the record that we have for the current application. So yeah, this is the customer record what we have, right, where you can see all those details about the customer table that we have in our system. You can also create a new customer. You can also bulk update a customer, and you can also update a single individual customer. If you, let's see, if I open this particular customer, I can also update it. It's very quick to create in Appian. Within a seconds, you will be able to create this UI for this process. Okay. And then we have reports. Reports is basically if you want to display some graphical representation of your data, you can design a report for you. So let's say, for example, let's say if I take about the registrar report. So this is a report that Appian has built for that purpose. So you can see all those graphical representation of data, how beautifully they have designed it here. And then we talk about the actions. So if you want to initiate a new actions, you can go with this option. So that is first shoot of Appian. So this is a basic URL, and then we have tempo. Now we have, if you go to the navigation icon, then you can see there is something called Appian Designer. This Appian Designer will only be available for the developers. If you are not a developer, then you cannot see this option, Appian Designer options for you. Okay.
But
So
the
now
site
Appian Designer is
can have anyone, right? Site option can have anyone, right?
Yeah, site is for like if you are part of that user, like it's a group wise, right? If company has given you the access of that site, then only you can access the site. If you are not part of that groups, you cannot access the site, right? Let's say there's a supervisor, right? He doesn't want to see what admin is doing in their site, so will not give the access to them, right? Why to give unnecessarily access to everyone unless it is required? So you can restrict the users who can see the sites. If you go here, right now I'm seeing all the sites because I'm a system admin user. If I'm as a designer or a basic user, right? If I'm a basic user who is gonna use the application, I will be only see the sites where I have given the permission. Right. Okay, so this is the designer tool where you can see all the list of applications. These are the list of the applications. So in one environment, it's not like you can create only one application. In one Appian environment, you can create multiple applications. So you see, this is a basic URL shoot, and then we have second thing called design. Here we have tempo, and then we have design. Design is for the developers, where you can go and create a new application for your purpose, and then you can continue your development. It has certain things. It has the objects, the list of the objects throughout your application. What are the objects that you have? You can filter on this, and then you can see the objects listed. It has a deployment tab where you can see what the things are deployed from which environment. You can do the deployment handling here. The monitor is for checking in the backend process instance, what is the process is running the behind. If there are any issues, you have to come here and then check what's the issue with the process instances. And then we have the list of the users, what are the users available to the tool. Now the third important tab is called cloud database. So that also comes, this is the MariaDB that we were talking about. So you can create tables, procedures, functions, and also the views. All 4 things you can create it here. You can also create triggers, right? So this is the in-house database that we have for Appian. And then we have fourth shoot that is called admin console. This admin console is for the only for the system admin user. If you are only having a developer access, you will not be able to access this. Here you can set the branding of your application, what kind of files you can upload, you can create a new users, you can set which site should be your default site. You can also create the APIs related things. You can upload the certificates. All those things can be done by admins users from here.
Where you get that admin console, like in the drop down, right?
Just navigation bar and then click on the admin console. Okay, so if you are a designer or developer or a basic user, you will not see this option. And then, yeah, these are the basic 4 important, shoots we have for Appian. Right? Any question, guys?
How long this? 45 days, right, or 50 days?
It will go around 45 days. The average is the 45 days. We will have 5 days in a week for each 1 hour. Right? It goes up to 45 days. Sometimes what happens that some people may not be able to join. We have the recordings. Sometimes I may have some other plans, right? So I'll just let you know in advance. So likewise, it goes up to 45 days as an average.
So how many classes actually? How many hours classes? Like
a 1 hour class each day.
Like 45 hours altogether?
Yeah.
And we build at least a couple of applications, right? Like.
Sorry, what is that? Couple of?
We're going to build at least a couple of sites or applications, right?
So we'll build one application throughout the trading from the start to end. And if you guys are willing to do some other use case, you can do that. I can help you there. but I see people are ending with creating same application from their end. So, but yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
But you will be having one working application at the end.
If the workplace has same Appian, right? They have their
Mhm.
sites and everything. If I get the access to them, do you think I can build it there?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Do you think they will give me the it won't be a problem, right? That hey, you're gonna
If,
mess up
if
with.
you if you register with your company email address, you might get it soon. If you register with your personal email address, you might get sometime. But in US time zone, US companies they give it soon. So yeah,
I don't know. I gotta see if they can provide or not. And
right. I will share the link. Let me see if I have it right now. I'll share it the link for the registration.
Yeah, yeah. If you use VPN, US VPN and request, will they give
I
early?
can't say that. I mean, I'm not sure, but yeah, you guys can get it.
or else
If you
we can,
use company email address, you get it easily. That's what I know.
or else we can use your credentials, right? Is that fine, right?
Right, right. I will be sharing my credentials for it. So I'm going to put in the message two URLs. First is the Appian community link where you need to go and register, and second is the link for requesting for a new addition. So you can register yourself and then try to get it the Appian format. All right. Any other questions, guys?
Do we? Is the same timing, right?
Yeah, it's the same time.
The fee structure and everything. Someone will reach out to us, right?
Right. Um,
We can talk about that here. That's if it's okay.
no,
Have
I
one.
mean, this is the training. I mean, I'm
Okay.
not participating in that fee structure and all that, so you can get in touch with the training center. They will.
I see. I see.
Sir, I have one question, sir.
Yeah, Ramya.
Sir, this course only is only Appian only, not training videos about the RPA and remaining
No, no,
JA.
no. It's a pure Appian development.
And you saying that if we go through these 40 days and build this application, couple of applications, like, and then we have the certification, the basic certification, we can easily put 2 years of experience and crack the interviews and move on, right?
Right. At least 2 years, definitely you can do that.
Not 3 4 years, definitely not 3 4 years.
See, that depends. Like, if you are capable of answering the questions, because as you increase the number of years of experience, the question will be according to that, right? But
Mhm.
people goes also for 3 years. Like if they are confident enough, they practice more, they understand the tool better, right? They go with the 3 years of experience as well. There are people who have, and in I think second last batch, people have joined. Two of them have joined Accenture, I believe, with the 3 years of experience. Yeah, people are there. That depends on how well you understand. So they were background from the technical background. They know the tool. They just wanted to brush up their knowledge. Right? So yeah, it depends how you practice.
Sir, I have one more question.
Jeremy,
So after course, you can provide any project or details about, or can go with other steps.
what we can do, we share you some sample resumes. We also share some of the interview questions. Latest interview questions is what is going in the market right now, and we try to find out, because Appian takes exams based on the kind of video conferencing. They don't, I mean, where you cannot go and just simply copy paste the questions, so it's very difficult. So we'll try to get some questions if possible, right? I'm not guaranteeing that, but we try to get. If someone's, let's say you appear in the exam and you remember, okay, these were the two questions, so we try to collect such kind of questions and then try to build one. So last time we got 4 to 5 questions, which helps. But yeah, and if you talk about the project experience, I think the training center will be able to help you in that. I can give you some of the inputs from my end. If you want something, the WhatsApp group will be get created. You can post your questions there. I can answer there too. Okay.
So, can we create like sample projects while practicing?
Yeah, that's why I'm giving you the practice environment, right? Where you can go and do these projects.
Okay.
So we will be creating one project during the training, and if you want, you can replica the same project, or if you want, you can create your something by your own. I'll suggest to create something, do your own. But people usually they ends up with the copy pasting the same thing, the same use case. But I'll suggest to go with some different use case.
And tomorrow we're gonna have class.
That depends. How many members joins. We'll see that. If everything goes well, then we can have tomorrow sometime. You will be get notified, by the training center.
Okay. And thanks for taking time and explaining all these things. And thanks a lot.
No problem, Venkat. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Anyone else has any question?
No questions, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much
Thank you,
for.
Thank you very much, Ravi.
Yeah, no questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Guys,
excuse me.
tomorrow.
Excuse me.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, I don't know if you can stay back a little bit. I have a couple of questions, not related to Appian, about some of the students that are interested and how the program goes, not concerning the class anyway.
Oh, I'm very sorry, Ted. I couldn't hear you properly. Can you be louder, please? Sorry.
No, I was saying I don't know if you can stay back for a quick discussion. It's not concerning the class, though. I just want to know what it would take and how I can add people on this. So this is not concerning the class. When you're done with the recording and everything, then I can just ask you those questions.
Right. So recordings will be there for each class. Also, recordings will be there, and you will be having the access of watching the recordings. And you cannot download it, but yeah, you can watch it whenever you want.
Yeah, I'm not talking about this. I'm just saying when you're done with everything, when you're done with the class, can you just stay back? I have a couple of questions for you. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
understand
can.
this question. One moment, Ravi. I understand this question. So he want to talk to you personally. So you want to stop the
Right, I know.
recording.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, and everyone, the other people can leave, I think.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, Ravi. Bye.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, guys.